before the sun rose over Rome, before the senators, the battles, and the weight of an empire. Marcus Aurelius would wake quietly and face himself. No servants rushing in. No royal breakfast. Just stillness. A man preparing his mind for war not with enemies, but with emotion, ego, and chaos. This is the emperor's morning routine, how Marcus Aurelius built an iron mind in a world designed to break it. Imagine waking up knowing that the fate of millions depends on you, and that everyone you meet, from the Senate to the palace, has an agenda. That was Marcus Aurelius' reality. He was emperor of Rome from 161 to 180 AD, leading during wars, plagues, betrayals, and constant pressure. He ruled the most powerful empire on earth, yet his writings, what we now call meditations, reveal not a man obsessed with control, but one obsessed with self-control. Marcus did not start his days with luxury or ceremony. He started them with reflection, the kind that anchored him before he faced chaos. In Book 2 of Meditations, he writes what many call his morning prayer. It begins like this. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. Not exactly motivational, right? But then he adds the key. They are like this because they do not know good from evil. In one paragraph, Marcus teaches the essence of mental resilience. Expect friction, but do not take it personally. The world will not always be kind, but you can always choose your response. That is how every Stoic day began, with realism, not fantasy. Marcus believed that before you touch the world, you must first tune your mind. His mornings were not about comfort, they were about clarity. While modern people scroll their phones, Marcus scrolled through his thoughts. Each dawn, he practiced what he called the premeditation of evils. He would visualize the day's challenges in advance. A commander disobeying orders. A friend turning cold. An illness, a loss, a rumor. By rehearsing adversity, he built emotional armor. Nothing could truly surprise him, because he had already faced it in thought. This was not pessimism. It was preparation. As he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This mental rehearsal is one of the greatest Stoic tools. It turns life from something that happens to you into something that happens through you. So Marcus began every morning not by wishing for an easy day, but by strengthening himself for a hard one. Marcus saw mornings as a moment of duty, not indulgence. He reminds himself in Meditations. At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I am rising to do the work of a human being. That one line captures his entire philosophy. For Marcus, to be alive meant to serve, to act, to reason, to contribute to the greater good. He often compared humans to bees. Just as bees are made to build and pollinate, humans are made to think and do. Lying in bed too long was not laziness, it was resistance to your nature. So each morning, Marcus grounded himself in purpose. Not in ambition, not in emotion, but in the reminder that every day is borrowed time, and every action must serve something higher. He often wrote, "Do every act of your life as though it were your last." Imagine starting your day like that, not chasing comfort, but clarity. Not checking your phone, but checking your character. This was his version of meditation, not emptying the mind, but shaping it. Before stepping into the duties of emperor, Marcus practiced a form of journaling, though he would never call it that. Meditations was not written to be published. It was his private dialogue, a conversation with his own soul. He would write reminders like, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one. And, if it is endurable, then endure it, stop complaining." These were not lofty words, they were daily instructions. written not to impress but to remind. He believed that philosophy was not something to study, it was something to live. Each morning's reflection was a mirror. Did I act with justice? Did I control my anger? Did I remember that death could come today? It was brutal honesty, and through it, he kept his ego in check. As emperor, Marcus could have had anything. Yet what he valued most was integrity, doing what was right even when no one was watching. That is why his private notes survived 2 millennia. They were not written for fame, they were written for truth. So how do you build an iron mind like Marcus Aurelius without a palace, an empire, or an army? You do not need those things. You just need structure. Here is a simple 4-step modern version of the emperor's morning routine. Wake with awareness. Before checking your phone, breathe and remind yourself, today I will meet resistance, and I will meet it calmly. This prepares your nervous system for the world, instead of letting the world program you. Premeditate challenges. Spend 1 minute visualizing what could go wrong, not to worry, but to rehearse strength. Then tell yourself, I can handle this. Reaffirm purpose. Write one sentence, my duty today is to. It could be to focus, to be patient, to create something small but intentional. Review in the evening. End your day the way Marcus did. Ask, what did I do well? What could I do better? What did I learn? This simple loop, morning reflection, daily purpose, evening review, builds the same muscle Marcus trained his entire life: discipline of thought. Marcus Aurelius did not live an easy life. He lost children, fought wars, and ruled through a plague that wiped out millions. Yet history remembers him as the philosopher king. Not because he never broke, but because he never stopped rebuilding his mind. That is what an iron mind is. Not unfeeling but unyielding. Not emotionless but anchored. When you read his words, you realize Marcus was not trying to be a god. He was trying to be a good man every day, from the moment he woke up. So tomorrow morning, before the noise begins, pause. Think of the emperor and whisper to yourself his timeless reminder. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength.